If you watch, the best dancers are very playful people. They are like kids, and that's how you're able to express yourself. So as a choreographer, it's the same thing. And so that you don't do repetition, repetition and repetition and repetition, and you need to be open. And then another thing,
Hey, all right. So I am now on the line with a Mr. Brayo Judah, who is a dancer, a choreographer, as well as a photographer. Is that correct?
yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, you were born, or yeah, you were born in Kenya, currently living in Arizona.
Yes, sir.
And so you have been dancing for almost 30 years now. And you specialize in soukous, hip hop, salsa. Is it gumboot and kwaito?
Back,
Kwaito?
I had a chance to travel around. So as I'm traveling and working with different artists, because mostly that's my job as a choreographer, I had the chance to learn other dances from other cultures, other parts of the continent. Because, just my country, there are 42 tribes. So
Uh huh.
42 tribes, there is so much when it comes to dance. So now I had a chance to travel to South Africa, and what would interest me, I'll pick it, I'll learn a little bit of it, and go to another part, learn a little bit. And then that used to help me when I'm working with artists. I would, like fuse and make my choreography a little bit different with different flavors from the motherland.
Ah, the motherland.
Yeah, Wakanda.
Hey, so hey, that's what's up, bro. So yeah, if I'm not mistaken, so currently right now, man, you are a teacher. And you mostly work at like workshops, festivals, and you teach master classes across the studios all across the globe, right? Globe, right?
Yeah, for now, that's the thing, because um, my intention was not me being the center of attraction. My intention was to train others to also help me carry that vision and empower other people, and also who are fighting, dying of hunger, or stuff like negative stuff. But they
Yeah,
never show the beauty of our dance. They never show the beauty of our music. They never show, because music and the dance, if you have to show music and the dance, you have to show the people. So you find
exactly.
most of the time the mainstream media will not show music and dance from Africa because they'll be forced to show the people. So what they want to show is poverty, war. So they show the negative side of us, not the beautiful side. And with that, it makes people from this side, like you don't feel comfortable visiting the place because of already of what you're seeing. But when you start experiencing the music, you start experiencing the dance, you get interested in learning the culture. Because once you get down there, you will see things that are being kept away from you.
Uh,
Yeah.
hey, so I really wanna, I guess I really want to start this out, man. I'm very curious to hear about your childhood growing up in Kenya, man. Tell me about that. What was that like?
Growing up in Kenya for me was a little bit challenging because, I died, and the second president who took in turned out to be a dictator. So, and there was a lot of things that were just going wrong. The only thing I'll say about him that was right is Kenya never got to a point of getting into a war or a civil war, you know. But poverty level was very tight, growing up. I mean, I didn't have shoes, but for
Psst, hey kid, come here. Hey, if you could like and subscribe for the channel, that'd be amazing. Let's get back to the show.
Instead,
yeah, we had a dictatorship government, and for me, now I look back and I'm like, um, what then I thought it was a struggle, it's what made me become creative. you know, like, because I didn't have much, I had to think and find a way to create my own fun. And majority of times, with the rest of the village kids, we used to hang around together. We had a soccer team, and then we had a dance team. So we were always occupied trying to build something. So, and then with that, we had to learn how to make our own toys. So I learned how to take the hangers from the dry cleaners, and I'll make my own car, like
Okay.
a vehicle. I'll design my own car with hangers. I'll look for the flashlight bulb. I'll make like headlights for the car and design it. Take like tins from preserve like butter and all that stuff. Cut them and just pretty much I'll make like a car completely, and I'll drive it around the estate, the village, the streets, and everything. So we used to have race cars that way. So and we that was our competition, and then we'll take like wheels of cars that that have been thrown away, and we'll put two sticks in it and put soil inside and some water so that it becomes slippery, and we'll push it and we'll race with those. Then dribbling the soccer ball was our in thing. How long can you dribble the ball? So so we'll do that like the whole day. So that helped in the conditioning of our body. So
Mm.
the environment we live conditioned our bodies, and then also it made us not sit back and wait for anybody to create fun for us. We created our own fun. So that way we started even dancing, So I'll do that. So, and by that, it made me be around also elderly people who I was able to learn from different dances. And keep in mind, Kenya has the main headquarter for the UN. So a lot of refugees before they're dispersed to the United States or to Europe from around African countries that have conflicts, they would come to Kenya. So like my area where I was born, it's in the city of Nairobi, an area called Kangemi. You'll find a lot of refugees used to live around that area. So I came across a lot of Angolans, I came across a lot of Congolese people, and that's how I was exposed to soukous,
Ah.
because a lot of Congolese people live there till today. And then I came across a lot of Ethiopians, Eritreans, there was Nigerians, because by then my pastor was a Nigerian also. And then we'll have missionaries coming in and that, but but more of I was surrounded by Africans, so I had the opportunity of learning and getting exposed to also to their tradition, and I was always curious, and they would teach me, and because my curiosity was not just to learn and find out who they were, but also to learn and keep it.
Mm.
So I did that, and I'll try learn their languages. How do you say hello? How do Like I had friends from Uganda. They had to teach me how to say hello in Uganda. So in the streets of Uganda, they say chi sebo. Sebo is a man. Chi nyabo. No gamba chi. So you're learning a little bit of here and there. So that helps. So I'm more like I meet people who tell me, oh, from back home, they tell me, I want to learn French and Spanish and Portuguese. Me, I want to learn more African languages.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely understand that, man. I want to ask you this, man. I'm very curious to hear, man.
Mhm.
Growing up in Kenya and everything, how important was music, for one in your household and two in your community?
Uh, Music is a lifestyle. Let me tell you how music is so powerful in Africa. I've seen videos of wars in Africa, and most rebels are singing and dancing,
Oh
and
wow.
so is the army. If you look, the army is dancing, the rebels are dancing. So the only way you can create peace to black people is through music. Even here, if you want to get to black people through music, Akon did a free concert in Congo, and it had so much impact. A lot of people, a lot of media houses took it negative, but he said if that one concert will save one life, that's all he needs to do. But the concert made so much impact in Congo that the violence went down. Because, first and foremost, it's Akon, and then secondly, it's a free concert. So the value music within the Africans is a lifestyle. For me, I can't live without music. If you want to kill me, just take music away. You can deny me food, deny me everything, but don't take music away. Because music to me is my therapy, and the drum is part of me. I can't do without the drum, and I can't do without moving my body. Yeah.
Tell me, what did your parents do, man? Or what did they do for a living?
Oh, my dad was a contractor. My mom was a tailor, and she was into business. So my mom would look for land and build stuff. She was a hustler, and my dad was a contractor.
And are you're probably you're not a single child, I imagine you have siblings, right?
Yeah, we were seven, and no, we were six, but now we're five. Our firstborn brother died. Both of my parents are gone.
That's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
No, it's okay. It's
Sure
okay.
enough, man. Sure
Yeah.
enough. So tell me this then. I'm very curious to hear, man. Growing up in Kenya and everything, man. What was it like going to school in Kenya, man? What were your school years like?
Um, in Kenya, we have, okay, you guys call them here semesters, but back home we call them terms. So in Kenya, you find we have three terms. So January to April, and then May, June, July, and then we close in August, and then we do September, October, November, and yeah, we close in November. But um, the thing why I kind of didn't like our education system, it's because our education system was an adoption of the British system. So, and I thank God I had my grandfather alive. He was still alive. He was, one of the freedom fighters, and he told me, "You're not going to school to be smart. You're going to school to learn how to negotiate with them." So I didn't go to school to be smart. I went to school to learn how to negotiate. And that's one of the things. So you find our school system was designed by the British. So our history was washed out, and somebody else was telling our story. So which I'll say somehow became a downside. So, but for somebody like me, I was lucky. My grandfather was alive and my grandma, so I would have those around the fire conversations in the evening, and I would ask questions. And my grandpa would tell me, "No, this is what happened. This is what happened." So you find most of our staff was bleached. Our education was um, basically to brainwashers, because you find even, I'm sorry to say this, you find even religion coming to Kenya. Um, Somehow it washed away, in some people it washed away the culture. And what I mean by that, it also washed the dance. It washed off, the values that made who we are. And people tried to wear suits that basically didn't fit them. And and by that, some people never got to learn their traditional dances. Some people never got to learn their languages. Some people they didn't even get to learn the national language, which is Kiswahili. So they were straight English all the way. So now when they're older, that's when they're trying to catch up with that because they have kids. So I've had cases where I'm asked by parents if I can do a class for kids for the Kenyan community, but because the education system was designed to brainwash us, so it wasn't something that I'll say I'm proud of.
Let me ask you this real quick, man. So you've been to the U.S. on multiple times, man. I'm very curious. How in Africa, how do they treat the elders? And how is it different than how we treat ours here in the States?
Oh, Jesus, let me take a sip on that. So, the United States, we take our elders, not we. In the United States, I noticed, and I've seen it, they take the elders to the nursing home, and it's like a disposal system that has been designed.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but in Africa, we live with the elders because um, the elders who are wise, let me make that clear. The elders who are wise are the library for the next generation.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But keep in mind also on this side, um, that the fools also get old.
Fools get old. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So that's why I always say before when somebody comes with this term of I'm older, and I'm wise because I'm old. Getting old doesn't make you wise
Right, right, right.
because even fools get old, you know. So it's also somebody's track record. So you find elders in Africa are considered as libraries. We don't dispose them. We treasure them because those are the people who tell you what happened. They'll keep you, they'll teach you your history so that you're effective in your future. So you're not walking ignorantly, you know. So, and that helps you also understand, like me, knowing where my parents were from and everything, it helped me as I'm teaching, as I'm learning and building myself in the dance industry. I'm building myself in mind also of where I'm coming from and thinking of how can I show people who I am and where I come from, then that's just another dude who's just teaching. Because soukous is from Congo, but I teach chakata, which is from Kenya. You know, I teach another dance called mushongwa, which is my mom's tribe. You know, I teach a few warrior dances, which are Maasai from my dad's side. Yeah. So you find it's important when you're coming from that side at least to have the basic knowledge of where you come from, and that basic knowledge you can only get it from the elders, you know. So when you dispose your elder also, you're creating you're sowing a seed also of you being disposed.
Oh, I say yes. Your children, are you see how this is how things are done, right? So you kind of imitate that,
Yeah.
right?
So it's important to protect them because when you protect your elders who are wise, you're protecting a library. And when you protect a library, the library get transferred to you. So somebody asked me, "Oh, Africans don't write books. Africans don't write anything. Africans," and I'm like, "Yeah, they don't, because the book that old person that you despise. And if you want to read the book, go sit with them in the evening around the fire. You know, like my grandfather will sit and he'll start a topic from the blues. And the topic he'll be talking. At the end of the day, when he finishes, I'm like, this dude just told us about how they got played by colonialists. And I'm like, wow. But there he put it, it was not in a negative way, it was in a mind opening way. Like how you can get manipulated without realizing and find yourself. You've sold
Mm.
yourself, you've sold your life, you sold everything. I'm like, wow. I'm like, thanks, man. So when the older as I get, some of the stuff he taught me, now they're actually playing in life. And I'm seeing those things repeating themselves in different places I'm going and coming to realize how to deal with them, not to become a victim of them, you know. And for me to share the love of dance and the culture and the history and show the beauty of Africa without acting like a victim from Africa.
Okay, okay, I understand that, man. So you kind of speaking on, the importance of the elders, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me this, man. I'm very curious. Continuing on your life journey, man. You're going to school and everything.
Mhm.
Um, I guess was dance always one of your main hobbies, one of your main passions, or was that something that you developed throughout your life? Did you grow up wanting to be, a professional dancer, I guess, or
Yeah.
choreographer?
Yeah, cause my first dance competition I was 8 years old, and it was in elementary school. That's what I call it here, primary school back home. So and that's how my basically my dad used to let me step on his feet, and he would be dancing with me. So and my mom had a problem carrying me on her back because when music starts playing, my mom used to say, keep on jumping. So, like, at one point, they thought I was hyper, but they'll put me down and they'll play music and I won't move. I'll be in one area just doing my own things and dancing. And that's how I started getting exposed to music.
Mhm.
Yeah. But they always thought maybe I'll become an instrumentalist. But as time went by, they realized it's more of a dancer. And keep in mind, also because of our education system and a lot of brainwashing that was brought in with it, and then add religion, so dance was never considered in Africa as a profession, was never taken seriously. It was seen like it's for people who failed in class, they are not book smart. So and I accepted to be in that bracket because I knew what is in me is bigger than what I was getting in that classroom. Because also you have to think the the education system back home never empowered talent. It empowered employment. So everybody was taught how to write a resume.
Right.
People are never taught how to write a proposal. So you find even if you want to get into business, you're not being taught in those details. So you find when I started looking at those, I'm like, okay, there's a problem here. And the one book that changed my life was by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad and Poor Dad.
Okay. So
I
no.
read it and it changed my perspective of how I was viewing things. And then looking at the lifestyle of my grandfather, that also changed my view of things, because my parents' generation was educated people, but we started going more into dressing the Western way, and we threw our own dress, we started throwing away our music because of the education system. And I'm not saying that the Western dress is bad. You can enjoy it, but also keep your own dress.
Mm.
You cannot always identify yourself with somebody else. You need also your own personal identity. So you find also that became a problem. And then I realized there was also the term of, you know, they'll correct each other, which I see even today. People correcting each other, oh, you don't speak perfect English. But I sit back and I'm like, I think perfect English should be thou, thee,
that, that's
yeah,
that yeah European English, that London English is on, right?
yeah. So, and I'm like, no, no, let me speak what works for me. And as long as you can understand, and you, whatever you're speaking to me, as long as I can
That's all
understand,
that matters.
foreign. Yeah. So if you told me I and me, I tell you, all right, but we can understand each other, you know. So you find those things started taking away, and people started walking away from who they were. And, you know, but because of that refugee crisis, and that's why I'm saying what people looked at as negative, me today I look at it, it was some positive in a way, because I gained,
Mm.
I learned something. And I look at some of the people who are refugees in Kenya, where they are, some of them are big musicians now. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Tell
Yeah.
me, so tell me, I know, well, I really want to hear about this, man. I'm very curious to hear about this.
Hmm.
Tell me, what was it like growing up in that household with, parents from Kenya, Kenyan parents, man? What was that household like?
It was fun because number one, um, um, hmm, there, my dad cooked, washed dishes. My dad did regular housework. I would share duties with my mom. So really, there was no, man of the house, because he was still man of the house, not the man of the house that is shown, and portrayed. Um, and then, I mean, there was some communication. They had their own faults because they were human beings at the end of the day, you know. But when it comes to like some of the values I got from them is, you know, uh, one, you have to respect your elders. That's one thing my parents pushed in my head. You know, somebody's older than you, whether they are fools or they're wise, just respect them. And when you respect them, they'll respect you back. You know, so that one is one of the things. And then the other thing is, what they enforced in me is to never hold anything back. You know, so always express yourself. You know, and growing up with parents back home, a father and a dad, um, it's for me it was a blessing, because I look at today and I come across some people who had no that chance. At least I had it.
Right,
You
right.
know, a dad who would help me ride my bike for the first time. A dad when my sister hit me, I'd run to him and tell him, that kind of stuff. And my dad would tell me, you stop, behave. And my mom, I used to call her the SWAT team because my mom, like, I used to be naughty. I used to fight. Like, I used to beat up. I used to get into fights most of the time. And my mom it would be reported to her and she'd be like, you. So, and she wouldn't make it a big deal at that point. But like maybe 2 weeks down the line, I'll get a SWAT attack. I'll get beat up and I'm like, what did I do? And she's like, you remember 2 weeks ago you beat up so and so? And I'm like, oh Lord, So you find when it came to some things, it was not, to other people view it as abuse, but it was discipline. And I realized then my mom dealt with me is not the same way she dealt with the rest of the kids.
Mm.
Every one of us, she had her way. My dad never touched me, but my dad will tell me, stop. I saw my dad beat up my firstborn brother, and I was like, hey, I don't want to be a victim. I'm walking away. So, but they were not bad people, you know. And the thing is, at one point we started having conversations, you know, and we'll talk. And especially when we go through the 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 passage age where, you know, from boys to men, you understand what I'm talking through
Yeah.
circumcision.
Uh-huh.
So the treatment changes. So now it's not about being beat up and everything, it's about being treated like an adult, and they expect you to behave like an adult. And being an adult doesn't mean that you're wrong. Being an adult is being responsible, you know. So, like, I own this mistake, or I'm gonna take care of this, you know. I don't have to be told you're of age, move out of the house. I knew by 17 I need to get out of this house,
Okay.
you know. So that's what I'm talking about.
I definitely understand that, man. So tell me, you kind of alluded to it. You said when you turned 17, you felt the need to move out, man. I guess, what happens after you graduate high school, man?
Um, then, because I'll tell you, I didn't go to the high school I went to. Hmm, I don't know how I made it through, but you know, it was one of those rough high schools. So,
Okay.
um, but because I was more in the sports, it gave me more mileage because I was a goalkeeper for the school team.
Ah, so you was a popular
So
kid.
yeah, so I there was nobody who could really come and replace me. My position was tight, you know. So, um, but mostly that's what I'm saying. The education system was really messed up because if you failed the high school education, once you fail the high school education, is either you find some shady job or do shady work, and if you pass, that's when you go to the university and you go through college. And if you fail, you can go to technical colleges and do some stupid training, you know, as then that's what they used to say. But it was a mindset, and it's a mindset coming from our former colonial system and a colonial master who created this for us. So you find my brothers and my sisters who are ahead of me, if they failed in education, they were in a mess. But for me, I already had my vision and my purpose in life. I knew I was going for dance. So
Okay.
whether the high school exam or I passed it, which I passed, but even if I could have failed, I didn't have any goals to go to college or university to study a course that I'm not going to do. So I ended up actually going to Bible school because I was curious about the Bible, and my grandfather is the one who made me curious about it. Yeah.
Okay. So no. So yeah, you go to Bible school, and where was that at? Is that in Kenya or is that somewhere else?
Half of the Bible school I do, half we were doing it in Kenya, and the other half we were doing it in Nigeria.
Okay. 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 Sure enough. Tell me this, man. I guess I kind of want to get. I want to hear about I guess your Bible school, but I guess how do you get introduced to is it Eric Wainai?
Yeah, Wainaina.
Wainaina.
Yeah.
And so you start touring with him. He's a Kenyan musician. You start touring with him, right? In the
Hmm.
90s?
Yeah, Eric was one of, can I say, from the national Kenya national anthem in Kenya, he's the one who wrote the next song that was very strong and very patriotic. And the song became big after um, we were terrorized in 1998 by when they bombed the U.S. embassy in Nairobi, Kenya, which I was a victim. I survived, um, with multiple injuries, but but that's the time Eric Wenena's song became big,
What song
and
was that?
it's called Kenya Only. So, and Eric He is a graduate of from a music school here in Boston called Berklee School of Music.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. That's very popular school. Yeah, man.
Yeah, he went to Berklee School of Music. So while he was in school, he was producing with one of the producers in the school called Christian Kaufman. And then I used to do dance for a gospel artist and do choreography for him, with other dancers. So we were the first gospel artists in Kenya
Ah.
and around East Africa. So, and the reason why because I was in church and, I was, you know, in Kenya is a Christian country. So, I was serving in church as a sound man because, that's how I learned how to do sound engineering. So, because I was trained by a sound engineer, he was an Indian guy. He was called Tony in a church called Crisco, and I used to do sound engineering there, and that's how I started getting more into church things. Then I realized that church in Kenya was. I'm not saying that it was the best, and I don't want to be the one to judge, but the part they called praise lacked something, lacked dance. People sang, but they never danced. So, and the worship, people would release themselves, fall on the floor and cry. I love dancing, so I felt like there's something lacking in church. So I started a church dance troupe. And by then, this was 1996. Um, I was in tabloids, I was in newspapers, I was talk shows, I was in everything you can think about that I'm introducing a negative culture. I'm bringing something wrong into the church. And, I was told I'm a devil worshiper by church people, name all negative things. And then Kirk Franklin released a song.
Her Frank was very popular in the States,
Yeah,
man.
Storm came out,
Yes,
and
that was a popular song, man.
yeah, and when Storm came out, that was the first song we ever did. Like go even to club parties to perform, and people would be drunk. But when we got on stage and they watch us dancing, and we're dancing a gospel song, like people will sober up and they're like, "Wow." And one guy came one day and he was super drunk and he told me, "If you open the church, my friend, I will be a member, and that will make me change my lifestyle if church was what you just portrayed here. Because I love dancing. And if church is like this, I'm coming to your church."
So he just wanted a concert though. Is that what he wanted?
Yeah, he just wanted to, party in church, like release himself. And it's not wrong dancing in church. You can dance, you know. So, and I started a dance troupe. And by 96 to 99, I got beat up by even the biggest evangelist preachers. Name anybody in Kenya. They there was a newspaper they driven a Pentagon and they said I'm a Freemasonist and all kind of things just to put fear. Anyway, long story short, I was part of the people who brought revolution in church through dance. So to a point, I was hired by a Catholic church to train them how to bring their first fruit into the altar with dance. And I started working with their youth and everything. And when the Pope came to visit, he experienced that and he liked it. And that's how dance grew big in the Catholic Church. Then the Pentecostal took it over. And now dance all of a sudden in Kenya became big. So I toured with the gospel artists in Kenya. We did a bit of Uganda. Then after that, when we as working together, the day we completed our job and we're like, now we are parting ways. I was leaving his house, and Eric Wainaina had just flew in from Boston, and he was wondering where to find me. And I was leaving his gate. Eric was driving from down the street where there's a studio where he was to record. He was recording, and as he was coming close, he was like, "Oh, the gospel musician lives here." So he was like, "Should I go and ask him where Brayo is?" Then he saw me walking out and he was like, "Oh, wow, this is amazing." And from there, boom, he told me this is my album and everything. He told me he needs a choreographer. And I worked with Eric for the longest. You know, his album was a huge success. It talked about corruption in Kenya. It was an eye opener about corruption, you know, about how much Kenyans lacked, and he still fights for those things. So I enjoyed working with him. And Eric was one of the people who spoke to me and told me, don't limit your vision in one area, work with other musicians, and also take your dance across the border so that people can see and experience that Africa is not what they see on the media. Africa is more than that. And I took the step. And Eric is one of the people I can say he was like my influence. My goal was to teach and to expose people to who we are. And then I happened to work with a musician called Nameless, and I worked with him, did a tour with him a couple of times in the US, and we still do tours even today. When he comes, we'll do some tours. And from there, I started working with different musicians. People send me singles. I'll do choreography for them. I'll shoot videos, send to them, work with their dancers online. If I can, I meet up with the dancers and do that. I worked with a musician from Tanzania called Mr. Nice. But the best other musician I worked with, his name is Ali Kiba from Tanzania. I did actually choreography for one of his shows in Thanksgiving in Atlanta. So from there, worked. My hand has been in between musicians here and there. But what I do when I work with artists, my job is to enhance their show. At times I'm not on the show on stage. At times I'm not in the video, I'm in the background, because my job is to listen to the idea of the artist and hear the ideas the producer has, and I combine them and what I feel listening to the music to bring that picture. So when you come to me as a dance student, I don't judge you by where you're coming from. When I start working with you, my eye is open to see your potential, the potentials you have. And that's what I pick on. And I'm like, oh, this one, he has this one. So I will work on this too. And as I'm working on that, you start discovering things about yourself. That's basically my job. And then I expose you to more of Africa and share with you the history and everything.
So I have a couple questions for you, man. But I guess let me start with this. I want to kind of give value to some people, man. So for someone out there who may be an aspiring choreographer, they want to get into that field. They want to, create beautiful pieces of work, man, through dance. Um, what advice or words of wisdom could you give to someone, new to the game who wants to get into the choreography field?
Uh, my advice would be music is a spirit, dance is a spirit. You're a spirit. Be open. That's why people don't get to enjoy and experience, because when you come, when you approach it, that's why you find when you play music for kids, it doesn't matter if it's a song, it's a Bhangra song from India, or a rock song from Europe, or an African song from Congo, or a hip hop song by Jay-Z. Kids are going to dance and they'll express themselves. Why? Because kids don't approach music with a mindset of, you know, what you know. They approach music innocently. They don't judge it. And and there's a tendency I tell my dance students, if you can come to a point where you're playful and stop being what you've been told by the system to be, and just be playful, you enjoy the dance. If you watch, the best dancers are very playful people. They are like kids, and that's how you're able to express yourself. So as a choreographer, it's the same thing. And so that you don't do repetition, repetition and repetition and repetition, and you need to be open. And then another thing, when you're social dancing and you're not enjoying, people can see and
Yeah, of
people can
course.
tell. Yeah. So, and that's why I always use these examples. Michael Jackson, the man treated the dance floor like it was his bedroom because he was playing on stage. He never saw the audience. He was so busy expressing himself, so he was not intimidated by the number of people and cameras around him. Uh, if you look at most of those artists, they have that in them, that energy, and and it's because they were feeling it. You can tell a musician who is singing from the heart and one who's cramming stuff and wants to be cool. You can tell a social dancer who wants to be cool and a social dancer who is feeling the music. You can even, when you look at their face, they are glowing. A quick example, last one. Africans, when we are dancing, we are known of making faces. I've always been asked, why do you guys make faces? No, it it's this it's because what's bubbling inside. So like it is so much, and the music and everything, that energy is driving you crazy, and that's what produces an experience. So as a choreographer, as a social dancer, as a dance teacher, my advice is just dive in the ocean of music and dance. Don't limit yourself. Don't be a person who's being held by genre of music, because also that's another thing. Listen to music. Listen to music, because also the more you listen to different kind of music, it builds your hearing and your musicality, and you start appreciating.
Nah, I definitely understand that, man.
Yeah.
Um, tell me this, man. You know,
Hmm.
you've been dancing for for such a long time, man.
Yeah.
Um, what are some things that you've learned from dancing that you've been able to translate to your everyday life?
Thank you. I love that. One, dealing with what everybody deals with, whether you're rich, wealthy, and poor. There's one thing we all have in common. It's called stress. Get stressed over something. Dance and music is my way to give myself therapy. When I'm working and ideas are not kicking in, I just go and start dancing. So you find music and dance for me is my number one therapy, is my number one way of opening for ideas. And then just the understanding the music and dance, it's spiritual. Also, it it helps me keep away from doing some things because I love to dance so much. There are things I won't do because I don't want to compromise and mess where I'm going with dance. So dance makes me make some decision wisely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I understand that, then, man. Um, I was gonna say something, man. Shucks, I forgot it.
Oh,
Right? Dang. All right. Damn. I forgot what I was gonna say, bro. Shucks. I will just
call it back. Call it back. Text it. Come on.
Oh man, it's all good, man. We'll just go on to go keep going there, man. Oh, okay. I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask you this, man. You talking about how if you're how dance helps you, I guess stay creative, man. I get it. You kind of already answered it for yourself, man. But I guess is there any advice you give myself or anyone else, man? How does one stay creative? How does one stay playful? Like a child, man. How do we egg on that fire, that add fuel to that fire?
Keep on listening to music. I listen when I'm flying because I'll be honest, I'm not gonna read a book on the plane. That's just me. Yeah, that's just me. So I read a book when I'm in a comfortable silent position because I want whatever I'm reading, like it's like somebody reading it to me. So, but I love listening to music when I'm cooking because I tend to dance in the kitchen a lot. I love cooking. I love cooking. I love the kitchen. That's the place I listen to most of my music. When I'm doing laundry and folding my laundry, that's when I listen to most of the music. When I'm doing like cleaning the house, I love washing the bathtub. That's when I listen to music. I love going to wash the car because that's when I listen to music. I love walking because that's when I listen to music. I love going to hike in Arizona. That's when I listen to music.
You always listen to
You know,
music.
so the more you invest music in those comfortable areas where there's no pressure, the more you find yourself you're expressing like a kid. You're not worried about who's around. And the more you do it, the more it becomes a lifestyle. You start adopting it. And before you know it, you're expressing yourself in front of people and you go like, oh, did I dance? People are like, oh man, you can move well. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. And most of the time people think like, oh, you're showing up. You're not. The song came, I can feel it, and then I start expressing myself. And for you to feel music, you have to invest music. Music is like your fiance or your girlfriend before marriage. You have to feel her. And for you to feel her, you have to hang out with her. You have to spend time with her. You have to know what she likes. He has to know what you like. So for you guys to feel each other, you have to spend time together and you have to communicate. So you have to communicate with music. When you communicate with music, your body reacts to that communication by moving.
Okay,
So
I guess you. So I don't make sure I understand. You're saying though that I guess music leads to creativity. Though is that what you're saying?
yeah, keep
Okay.
music.
Hey, all right. Ooh, let me ask you this, man. I'm very curious to know, man. Have I guess your whole entire life have you always been, I guess a professional dancer, a professional choreographer, or have you had to get a full time job at any point?
Um, yeah, I had a job in Kenya. It didn't last for long because I had to dance. Then, um, and then when I was here, I got a job in St. Louis as a graphic designer. It was owned by a Kenyan, and he came and approached me and he's like, I can't have you come into work with your headphones. And I was like, it's okay, I don't have to come back. And
Okay.
yeah, and then when I was in Seattle, I got a job and it didn't work because they were like, oh, there's no listening to music here. And I was like, you know what? Because I was working as an assistant chiropractor, I was like, it's not working. So, and I knew I'm taking the wrong path. So that's when I went back and I was able to fit in and pay my bills and, you know, do whatever I'm doing. And now I'm walking into my vision completely. Everything is aligning, you know. Uh, the tough side has lifted. Now I'm actually going to basically set the stage of what I've always dreamed.
So currently, are you a full-time, I guess, dancer, choreographer?
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's
And
awesome, man.
photographer too. So I do photography, and my photography, it came out of the pressure of we'll go for tours, and we'll hire professional photographers to take pictures of us on stage. And most of the pictures were bad. I'm like, pictures when I'm pulling up my jeans and I look like I'm grabbing my crotch, and and those are the pictures they're bringing to us. I'm like, come on, man. Then I started having issues with there's no pictures showing the glam of me on stage. Like, this guy is performing, and I was like, I started getting into photography. And then also I realized nobody is promoting really our African stuff, our jewelry or whatever. So I started doing photography for that too. So before I knew it, I found myself in that. But I love doing more for my jewelry. I love looking for models, and doing that and promoting who we are. And when clients buy jewelry from me, I love doing like a photo shoot for them, you know, just so that also they can see and experience. Yeah.
Let me real quick, man. I wanna ask you this question, but I gotta kind of like stage it for you. So, and I want you to answer this in terms of like giving advice to someone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, looking back on your life,
Mm-hmm.
uh, what could you have done differently so that you could have been, a full-time dancer, choreographer, photographer much earlier in life? If you understand what I'm asking you?
Yeah, I know what I could have done. Not wasted time in church.
You think you wasted your time in church?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Speak on it, please.
Yeah, because the mindset then was, you know, as long as you served in church, your doors will open, which is a brainwash. And anytime, you know, like openings will come. I remember one time Coca-Cola Popstar, they wanted to do it in Kenya, and I stepped in and wanted to be one of the people featured in it. And you know, um, as a dance choreographer, I wanted to do choreography for artists. And you know, the chat came up and they said, no, we'll pay you guys, you don't have to go there, blah 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 blah. So for me, you know for somebody else it would be okay to serve in church, but for me, being in church was a waste of time because um, I was not designed to be in full-time ministry under somebody's watch. Yeah, because I knew what I wanted to do since I was a child. So being around church people was my vision was being basically put in a container and sealed. And every time I'll try like to make a move, there was that uh, manipulation and control, which now I ended up being rebellious instead of, and that's one place. And then also, um, some people I hanged out with, you know, if somebody is not empowering where you're going, dump them. Your vision is more important. Your passion is more important because there's nothing bad like when you know, when you're old and you wanted to do a head spin. But you're 19, you can't do a, you break your neck, you know. But you're scared to do the head spin when you're 16, or 20, you get. So for me is if you're feeling the fire now and you have the energy to do it, do it. Yeah. There's nothing bad like later looking back in life and saying, I wish I did this way. Me, I I look at all those things as I almost I almost failed, but I managed to run. Yeah, and it's because I already knew my direction. So I've come across some very potential great dancers, and I'm sorry I'm taking more of your time. I've met some strong potential dancers, and they can be great teachers, great instructors, but because of the way they've been wired by them and they've been told you cannot make it with your talent and gifts, they've suppressed that passion and tried to substitute it with a job and cover it with money and everything. But the truth is, that's the outward image. Inside them, they are dying, they are stressed. And for me to such people, I always say, it's okay, you can still do your job, but create within 24 hours, create 1 hour and go dance. Start building something. Your free time, start building something. Be like I don't know much about them, but be like those successful people who use their garages to build a product in the evening after they come from work. Start doing that. And then if this product starts sustaining you, then you can step away from your regular job and move to this,
Yeah.
so that way when you're old and you're talking to young people, you can tell them through experience. Because now for me, I look at talent and I tell them, don't let this pass you. Because this might, let me tell you, if if I could have done some of the things that were being suggested for me to do, I won't be talking to you today.
And what you mean? You be a better place in life or worse?
No, I'll be in a worse place because I'll be stressed. But because I said this is a matter of life and death. Because this is the thing in life. People see failures like a negative thing. No, failure is an opportunity to learn. And also, failure, through that learning, you learn how to do it better or never go back a certain way. And then also, if you fail, it doesn't mean that's the end of the world. Because also, you get into the bracket or at least I tried it. Than those people who they see people doing it and they're like, I always wished I could do this when I was, Yeah, I don't want to be the person saying I wish. I want to be I did it.
Yeah, definitely. That's always a good thing, man.
Yeah.
Tell me this real quick, man. Well, real quick, how long have you been able to, sustain yourself with, your hobbies? How long have you been able to do this full time?
Oh man. Since I was 17.
Okay. So to tell me this then real quick, man. What are I guess like two things. What are some things that you know now that you wish you had known when you were younger? That's the first part. And
Mhm.
two, I guess what is it like to be a full-time professional dancer? What is that life like?
Um, if this might go south a little bit, but I'll be honest. Um, some of the things, growing up in Kenya, you know, there's a level of innocence you have, and you're not exposed to much about the West. So, you know, um, so when you start learning about, because I didn't know in high school we were never taught about slavery. You know, we
So
were never.
even in Africa, they didn't teach you about that?
No, man. We were told Christopher Columbus discovered America. Done.
Okay,
So
okay.
next, Napoleon Hill was the greatest French general. Done. So basically, there is no details. And then we were told our Mau Mau freedom fighters were terrorists. So, and I'm like, thank God my grandfather was still alive to correct it for me and told me, no, 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 son, this is what happened. And I'm like, hey, okay, all right. So the teachers are like, so that's when I started being curious. So you find As a kid, I wish I never took most of the things seriously that the teachers told us. I spent so much time running around stuff that were really crappy in school, you know. And then again, religion, church, the brainwashing, Because this is the thing I always say, it doesn't matter what race you are, but religion binds anybody. And religion holds you back. It doesn't matter where you're from. And religion makes you start suppressing your passions, especially with talents. So now, being a Christian, I was told dancing to Michael Jackson's music, I'm dancing to secular music. So I'm there, I'm like, so I need to just dance stomp only. But as time went by, I realized, I went to Bible school and I realized, the whole Bible concept and everything. So, when those two truths start pouring, you're like, I wish somebody told me this when I was younger, you know. Because now you're coming to America and you're getting a culture shock. You're like, okay, this country, uh, being black is another story. Ooh, jeez. You get so for me, I'm like, hey, I'm in the USA. Then I'm like,
Like that veil gets unlifted.
yeah. You're like, what in the world is going on? So, and then you start sharing with people at home, and people at home are looking at you like you're lying. Thank God for social media, because now they say it and they're like, whoa, we never knew about that. So we didn't know about slavery, we didn't know about all these things. So now when I'm here, I'm like. And then, so I wish I knew somebody told me about that when I was a child, because I would have come with a different concept coming in here and stepping into the rest of the world. So I didn't know. So these are some of the things for me I get introduced. And I was telling somebody today, uh, there are people in Africa they don't know, they've never experienced racism. But when they come here, they experience it and they're like, their view changes. And they're like, what? So, so that changes the whole concept. And even if, like me, I wanted to teach dance and, you find yourself, you're being pushed to a certain lane. So, and you're like, okay, so I wish some of those things I knew growing up, but they were never exposed to us.
I understand that, man. I
Yeah.
definitely do, man.
Yeah.
Um, Let me ask you this, man. You kind of it was a while ago. You kind of brought it up, man. But how would you put into your own words, the word musicality? What does that mean to you?
Listen to music.
That's what musicality is.
Yeah. I mean,
All right, simple as that, man.
I mean, it's a relationship between you and music.
Mm.
I can play a song and I'll tell you, oh, can you hear that drum? Can you hear that kick? Can you hear that? But what I'll be doing is I'm pointing things to you.
Right. Your interpretation of it, right? I guess.
Yeah. But the way I've been raised is feel the music. When you feel the music, that's musicality, you know, and that's what makes you enjoy the music when you feel it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been asked to teach musicality classes, and I'm like, you know what it takes to produce one song? It's a lot of work
I believe it.
between the singer, the instrumentalist, the producer, the engineer, you know, and a bunch of ears hearing it and giving a feedback, and um, the artist has this. This is also the other thing people fail to understand is um, the artist is expressing themselves. Some of these artists express themselves through the music, you know. So you find you also have to sit down and think about what's influencing this artist to produce a song. So, like Eric Oinaina singing Kenya only is because of the corruption that was in the country. And his idea of writing Kenya only, he performed into a place where they used to perform as a band. It was a restaurant, and a drunkard. He told me the story. A drunkard came to him and told him, "You know, I love the way you sing about the police harassing young men here, and the corruption and everything. But how about you sing a song about your flag?" This is a drunkard. He didn't look at the guy and say, "Look at this drunk." He was trying to, his whole idea of writing music was to write music that was patriotic. And it took him being passionate about that. And some random drunk guy just dropped the idea fresh in his hand. And he was like, hmm. And he went wrote Kenya Only, because Kenya Only talks about the meaning of our flag. Black for the people, green for the land, red for the prize of freedom, and white for peace in Kenya. My country, my home. And the song became big in Kenya. It became a household song. Okay. So, but between him writing it and going to Christian Kaufman producing it, I worked in a studio and I saw what it takes to produce a song. I worked with producers. So when people at times tell me to talk about musicality, I always ask them, have you ever been in a studio to produce a song? Because that will give you the whole idea of talking about musicality, how you have to break in a lot of things. And then at times you're breaking things from your own personal feeling, not from the artist's perspective. So,
Yeah, say musicality is kind of everyone has their own musicality, and when you're trying to teach it, it's like you're pretty much giving your interpretation, right?
mm-hmm.
I understand
So
that.
yeah, the thing I tell people is, I always advise people is listen to the music, because you're a spirit. Music is a spirit, because you can't catch music and put it in a box.
Right.
It's a spirit. What are you feeling when you hear that song? The best part I loved in DC on the train, and that's why people ask me, when you see black people, you start smiling, and I'm like, yeah. And I love watching, like, when they have headphones. That's the best part of my life.
So seeing other people listen to music.
See, and then it gets to that punchline. You can see the guy's like this. He's in a train, man. Train is full. But that part, that punchline, he won't miss it because you are around him. No. He's like, yeah. I'm like, that man is feeling it. That sister is feeling it. You get? And that's what I always tell people. When you feel it, you're not ashamed of it. When you feel it, you're not ashamed of it. Because if you love your woman and you can feel her, you're not ashamed of her. In fact, you become very protective. And it's the same thing with music. So that's why some people will ask me questions about African music, and I'm like, bro, if you can't feel it, I can't help you. You know, I can try to tell you how the music is produced and the history and the influence behind it, but from the artist perspective, bro, you have to feel the song so that you feel what the artist is singing about.
All right, now I understand that, man. I understand that, bro. Let me ask you this real quick, man. Probably the last question I have for you, man. Give me. I want you to give me one tip that can make anyone a better dancer immediately.
Uh, Immediately will be hard and tricky because, we all come from different walk of lives. You know, there's some people who've never danced, and they always claim they've never danced in their life. But I always say Can you walk? Can you walk and talk and coordinate the two? Can you walk, talk, and still use your hands to express? Can you walk, talk, use your hands, and still nod when you're talking? Perfect. Good. Can you drive? Can you step on the brake? Can you indicate? Can you do all these things? Because dance is body combination movement. So, can you do that? Okay. What you're lacking is the feel of music for your body to, to give you that combination movement, which is empowered by how you feel about what you're hearing
So
and
no.
what you're feeling.
So hold on, was that a tip though? The
Yep.
lacking the feel of music?
Feel the music.
Feel the music. Okay.
Feel the music.
All right.
You
Okay.
know, like I meet a lot of people who dance. I get to teach in festivals. Like now, um, festivals and workshops. Right now, I'm in Houston. I'm working with Billy and Monica, and I meet. I get to do private with Kizomba students. And most of them, it's because African music, the sound is still new in their ear. So what I tell them is listen, keep listening, keep playing it, keep playing. The more you play it, you start feeling, you start hearing things, you know, you start feeling strange, something strange about that. And that strangeness does not threaten you. It builds curiosity. You want to know more. You want to know more. And I'm like, once you start getting there, keep going. It's like you're in the Amazon forest and you're about to find that place that you've been looking for, the heart of everything. So keep going, So I always encourage them, keep going. The more you go, the more you start feeling it. The more you start feeling it. And I remember this one student one time, I worked with her like 2 years ago, and now she's like, I can be able to dance like for 3, 4, 5 songs with one person. Before I used to dance one song. And I asked her what changed that. She told me because I invested time in music.
Mm.
And then I practice. And when I'm alone in the house, I'll play music and I'll be dancing. I'll take the broom, I'll practice, I'll be doing my own things and everything. But I'm investing music in me. And that investment, and I'm feeling it, I find myself, oh, now I'm practicing by myself. So now, because she's feeling it, she is practicing. So she's now combining what she's feeling with body combination movements. And there you go. You start building your way up.
Mm.
You start building your own experiences. So you go to a place and you can, and you see, this is a good thing. When you start getting to that place and you start learning to feel and everything, you get to a place, you go to places where they are not playing the kind of music you play to, but maybe they'll play a song or two and you're like, oh, I can feel that beat. And you find yourself building your own fun.
Ah, that's tough, man. When the DJ puts on music you don't like.
Yeah, imagine you meet somebody like maybe like in festival in whatever before a class starts and music is not playing. Can you dance to an imaginary music?
You might can create a beat in your head, but it's more difficult. It's a little tough.
That's why I said the more you listen to it, it starts. Even when you start moving, there's a flow, there's a connection. Music is a spirit.
That's
Let
the
me
name
tell
of
you
this one.
something interesting.
That's the name of this episode.
I do a lot of tribal dances, and I've done a lot, and I've done a lot of live concerts and dancing. So when you're dancing in a live concert, like when I'm doing my solos, I don't dance to what the musicians are playing. The musicians are playing to how I am moving. So that's one thing about African music and dance. We don't dance what they're playing. They start playing what how you're moving. So like I'll sing and I'll just do like something like this, and the drummer will go back it, back it, back it. So you find the drummer is following me.
Oh, okay. So and it's not the other way around.
No. So you
Okay.
find instrumentalists follow the dancer. Where I come from, instrumentalists follow the dancer. The dancer doesn't follow the instrumentalist.
Okay. Sure enough.
So you have to feel. So it's the same thing. This is crazy. So you that listening to music and listening over and over, it gets you to a place you can predict.
You start noticing the pattern.
Yeah. So, and you find yourself just doing things that will leave the other person you're dancing with going like, damn. That's why you find I've had a lot of guys saying, oh, I went to this, like one time, we went to this Cuban party, and these salseros are used, they're not used to dancing that old Cuban style. So they found the old men who, are very playful and they do very slight moves. They don't do much. And when they were dancing with them, they were like, oh my God, the feeling was different. And then how these guys were playing with them and holding their hearts and everything, they were like, woo! Like they were like the energy was real. So I met some people who went to the Angolan embassy party and in DC, and they were like, oh my God, dancing with those older Angolans, it felt nice, So, and the same thing, some of my students have had a chance to come with me for some soukous concerts. And when they watch the live concert, they're like, oh my God, this is totally different because the dancers are not following the instrumentalist. At one point, they are going together, and then at one point, the dancer becomes the lead. Like if like the dancers are like pragata pragata. So you find like the solo part, you find the dancer is the one who's in command. And as a dancer, for you to get to that point, it's because of what you're feeling. And if you're feeling it, you're not ashamed of it. You're not ashamed to show it. That's what I'm saying. You can dance to a beat in your head. And if there's a drama percussionist around you, they can play to what is playing in your head and portray it through the sound.
Okay. Okay. I need to go to a soukous concert one day, man.
Oh yeah, you should. And not just
Hey.
Suku's concert. There are a lot of live bands at concerts that happen.
Oh yeah, live bands are always great, man. I love live
Yeah.
bands.
Just when you go to live band concert, that's when you feel the entire energy of like our music. It's the same thing, reggae music. That's why I love going to reggae concerts. Because reggae had to show up with cap CDs or tracks or flash drive. They come with the band.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brayo, man. I wanna I really wanna thank you, man, for taking time out your day talking to me, man.
Ah, you're welcome, sir.
Hey,
This is
hey.
amazing.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah. Real quick, bro. Tell me, man. What are some of your upcoming events, man? What do you have going on?
Right now, um, um, basically, I'm having a lot of jury events coming up, so we are trying to get more people getting to rock our stuff and everything and value them. The other thing, I'm organizing a tour to Kenya. So, and I'm not just gonna do Kenya. I'm doing Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, and Congo. So I'm working on that. So I'm getting my links together and everything. So that's one of the things because it's one thing to teach dance, it's another thing when people get to experience the people,
Oh man.
you know. And when you experience the people that you get to see how they do it and share with them and be part of the culture, you get to learn their hustle and their struggle and their strong point and their weak point, and then that makes you realize able to bring all this to reality. So, that's one of the things I want to do. And then, apart from that, I want to teach and train more teachers Uh, my goal is not to be in every festival. My goal is not to teach in every workshop and everything. I'd love like once a year to do a masterclass where I can host it an African way, and that has always been my dream. So I'm working for that, where I can do that. Um, but for me, I have like, which city are you in now?
Yeah, I am in Richmond, Virginia.
So I'd love like to teach somebody, train somebody in your neighborhood,
Yeah, man.
Virginia, to be teaching. Because for me, I don't be traveling everywhere. My joy would be seeing actually an American teaching it, and that will make that American get in a position where they're like, you know what, in this dance, I want to go to where this dance is from. I want to go experience. I want to go experience the full culture.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's my goal, to get people to see the side that has always never been portrayed. Yeah, and I want to teach more teachers. And pretty much, my goals are not complicated. They
Hmm.
are simple, and they are to empower people. That's my goal. So, but to empower people who are willing to empower others, who are willing to share, who are willing to be out there to be community leaders. Keep in mind, not everybody I work with will do it the right way, but there are those ones who will do it the right way. So if I can train 20 and 10 do the job, I'm happy. Yeah, and we get also that helps uh, preserve the culture
Right, right, right.
of people. So it's not just Africa; we share it with other people. Yeah.
That's great, man. That's great, man. Tell me, man. People who might be interested in any of those things you have going on.
Yeah.
How can people reach out to you, man? How can they get in contact with you?
I have a website. They can always email me. It's Brayo Judah .net. Or you can find me on Facebook as Brayo Judah. You can find me on Instagram as Brayo Judah. It's not hard to find me. Yeah, and I'm not the kind of person who will tell you that you have to talk to my secretary or my manager or that kind of stuff. No, because we're here to serve the people. So so I always say, no matter how great we get high up there, we have to walk, we have to come down to lift another one up, to lift another one up. So I don't believe in staying up. I believe if you've tasted up, come down and you can go up. And people who believe that they have a true talent, they are not scared to come down and pull somebody up and
Yeah,
go
it's
up.
so true.
Yeah. So you find a lot of people, they get up there and they want to stay up there, and you guys stay down here. And it's something I've seen with a lot of teachers and instructors, you know, where they want to become celebrities, they want to be, the big shot, they want to be the discussion, and they forget teaching dance is a service, you know and as a dancer, for you to be able to transfer that energy, you have to come down to the people. When you're dealing with people, don't deal with them like you're performing for them. You're not performing for them, you're teaching.
Right.
And when you're teaching, you have to come down to their level. And if you can pull up somebody to come to an experience up there, and they see you come down, that makes them also, they start coming down to pull others, you know and you find yourself building that network where the students are never scared when they're up there to come down and build others. This is another thing. It also helps you to keep up with your basics. It helps you. Huh? Sorry.
I say, yeah, the basics are always important, man.
Yeah. So it helps you keep up with your
Let
basic,
me
and
uh let me ask you this real quick, man. Before we close this out, man. I guess where did you get the name Brayo Judah, is that a nickname? Is that your stage name? Where does that come from?
Brayo came out of um, a TV show. You know, in Kenya we had one channel then, and it was a dictator's channel. So, and Brayo came from a show called Street Justice. Actors was black was Carl Weathers.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, and then the white boy was called Brian Genesee. So, and when I used to do martial arts, which I don't like talking about it, I love martial arts, and I love watching martial arts movies. So I I've been told that when I do my spin kicks, I used to do them when I was a kid. They used to say I used to do them like Brian Genesee, and then people started calling me, but Brian Genesee became stronger. Anyway, then when I started the dance troupe in church, they started calling me Judah. Judah means praise. Yeah, my friends decided to chop Brian and changed it and called me Brayo.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Judah because of church.
Right, I get you. I understand. That's something I was just curious about, man.
Yeah, so those are my AKAs.
Hey, so no, also known as I get you, I get you. See, yeah, man, Brian, like I was saying, man, I really want to thank you so much, for taking time out your day to talk to me, man.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. You're welcome anytime.
Hey, hey,
For
hey.
the people, for the people.
Right? Exactly, bro.
This is what I always say. If it's gonna change one person, I don't need 10. One, I'm good.
Hey.
If it's gonna empower one person, I'm good. Change one person 10 years from now, I'm good. The time to me doesn't matter. It's the message I put there because it might not change anybody right now.
Hmm.
10 years from now, it might be the key to empower somebody.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a great way to wrap this up, man.
Yeah. And keep doing what you're doing because this is the thing. Um, people people might make you feel like whatever you're doing, you're wasting your time, or because you're starting small, look down on you and anything and be like, what are you trying to do? And all that kind of stuff. And at times you get to a point where you feel like quitting. Let me tell you, I quit so many times. I'm serious. I did quit so many times and I found myself back. And I'm like, how did I get back here? But because I believe in what I do.
Right.
Yeah. So I've been in positions where people have told me they won't hire me. And I'm like, okay, I keep doing whatever I'm doing. But they're the same people calling me and hiring me.
Mm.
But it's because I believe in what I do. And this is what I always say. You might not like me as a person. People are not attracted to a person most of the time. People are attracted to your discipline in what you do. I mean, look at most artists. If you look at their real lifestyle, you'll be like, damn, you guys are crazy. But the product they put out there is what people pay for.
Exactly.
So for me, and I'm not saying that now we become cocky, arrogant, and stupid and all that. But what I'm saying is keep doing what you're doing. Today, it's a podcast. 5 years from now, it will be a TV station.
Hey, hey, hey.
10 years from now, because let me tell you what we are lacking. And now let me get a little bit um, as my last statement before I walk away. In case somebody wants to beat the crap out of me. So today we're talking with somebody and we're talking about the stuff going on in South Africa and the fight and everything. And the hurricanes in the Hurricane Dorian, the disaster he did in the Caribbean. And they were like, why is it not being shown in the mainstream media? And I told them because we don't have our own mainstream media. Black people don't mainstream media that can go out there and report internationally.
Right.
So think about that in what you're doing. Yeah, because it starts in the house, it starts with the laptop, and it becomes an empire. Disney World didn't start what we see today.
Right.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's your vision, it's your passion, it's what you're doing. The work you put today, it might not bear fruit now, but down the line might be the result that is going to change your kids.
Hey, come on, man.
So when I started dancing, and everybody was like, you're wasting your time. I was like, I'm not. I look back now, back home in Kenya, I'm looking at how big the industry is, and you know, it's funny when people start like calling you're a legend in the dance industry, and I'm like, I'm not a legend, but but they're looking at the work you've put, you know, the artists you've worked with, the things you've brought, even when people are fighting you or against you. And this is the thing, I always say, we invest so much time on haters, so much energy and time on haters. And this is the thing, I talk about energy. Whether you're going to give a bad comment or good comment, you spend energy. So I never pay attention to haters. I pay attention to what I'm building because I know one thing: life you live once. It's not a rehearsal.
Right.
So let me do this. So with what you're doing now, and especially empowering the dance community, it is something they don't have a media, they don't have a platform, and the platforms that are there, they're they're of personal interests. So you find they interview their buddies, they interview their people who they know. I didn't know it was you. That's why I'm like, yo, dude, it was you. So all this time I didn't know who it was I'm talking to, you know,
Uh-huh.
but I accepted to do the interview. And that's the thing. So you find if people were like this, the community will grow healthy, you know, and supporting people like you, because this is a platform that will end up being our platform to share our skills and our talents,
Yeah.
not just for us, for our kids, you know. So you find, try go to CNN right now and do an interview about dance. That'll give you time. That'll give you 5 minutes, and the questions will be scripted, quick, and done, and cut 16 commercials. You make sense. The show is over.
Yeah.
Because they've already built a system how they'll do it. But now with you and what you're doing, you're showcasing a lifestyle. And for me, I would encourage, especially the African people,
Mm.
I would encourage the Black people, you know, to take your platform seriously, because this is where we are showcasing our culture. This is where we are showcasing our lifestyle. This is where we are coming to share and show where we come from. We are showing the beauty of Africa. You're not showing the negative side of people dying and chasing each other with machetes.
Right.
So this is a platform where you're showing Africa in a positive place, you know, and I would encourage them to take it seriously and support it. And this is something, even after I hang up, I'm going to share about it.
Hey.
These are things that, for me, I don't take them lightly because I know the power they have. And if we don't support our own, we'll let somebody else tell our story and they'll never tell it right. They will
Mhm.
tell it the way they want to tell it so they can have a hand in it. Yeah. But me and you, we are building, not just me and you, we are building a community.
I mean, that's the goal, man. To give dancers, people, a platform to speak on it, man. Speak their truths, man.
Yeah.
So
So
that's the goal, man.
so me, I'm impressed, and I'll tell you, keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop. Even it gets hard, It gets difficult. You feel like quitting. You quit, but quit back again.
Okay.
When you quit, quitting and come back.
Shut up, man. I think so. I'll let you know, man. I started this back in February, man, of this year, and yeah, I think it'll be like episode maybe like 101, 102, man. So yeah, man. Hey, so yeah, like I said, right, man. I really appreciate like those words of encouragement you really gave me, man. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome, sir.
Seriously, man. That meant a lot to me. That means a really lot to me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, like I said, Barry, man. So yes, thank you so much, Barry. This would do it for this episode of the Tulipy Podcast. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, hey. So,
All right.
All right, so hey everyone. If you made it this far to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for just watching this. I really hope that you found value in this. My whole goal in this endeavor is to give a voice to people, to dancers, and to give value to the dance community. So if I'm not giving value, it's kind of pointless. So I strongly urge you to please comment and let me know where I can improve, what I need to do better, what I'm doing wrong, and hopefully what I'm doing right, but my overall goal is I want to give content. I want to be helpful. So please let me know where I can improve upon. I'm new to all this, so I'm learning as I go. So I need like feedback. Please comment and just let me know how I can improve. I would greatly appreciate that. That means the world to me, just to be able to interact with you all, have a conversation with you, and just see what you like and what you don't like. That means the world to me. I love interacting with you all. It means so much to me. But yeah, thank you so much for making it this far into the video. I gotta say, please leave a like, subscribe. If you don't like it, then let me know why not. Hit the down like button, hit the unlike button. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.